Let's jump into the game. Our non-mirror game to the top left. SK's MC.
And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner here as our Pink Terran. Everyone keeps playing Pink nowadays, but there you go. He goes by the name of Marine King Prime.
Yep, Marine King Prime. Loving the pink. You could see 2-racks opening on this map. Not only a 2-racks potentially with Marauders, or we could see the 2-racks with, just an 11-11 proxy, for example. Doesn't look like it so far for Marine King, but this map is a map we've seen builds like this a lot on because it's a 2-player map, some of our smaller maps, as far as base-to-base ground rush distance goes.
Yeah. 11-11, very, very strong. Even in this matchup, a lot of people would just hark back to, the TVZ matchup, but MKP has been known to go 11-11 so against Protoss, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw that at some point, but for now, looks like he's just going to be opening up with the barracks at the top of the ramp, and from there on, well, he still has a lot of options ahead of him.
Yeah. I wonder what we are going to see MC go for. MC has shown all sorts of crazy all-ins on this map, including Blink Stalkers. Could just go for the late game. The reason why I think that we see MKP go for 1-racks expand is that that's the safest way to expand on this map with placing against MC, because going for a command center first against MC is a little bit dangerous because MC very rarely goes for early expansion builds like a Nexus first, or even one of those builds where he cuts the gas out and goes for 1 gate but then into Nexus. And also the same reason that why we probably don't see MKP go for 2-racks here is it's the same one, because MC is not going to likely take a risky expand. So against 2-racks play, if MC goes for a very safe build, then he should be able to defend it quite nicely.
Yep, could do. But I do love the fact that MKP actually walls off like this, just to keep his opponent in the dark about exactly what's going on. It's even if you're not playing super aggressive, or even if you're just playing completely standard, just denying your opponent any information whatsoever is so cool in this game. It's really nice.
Yeah, it really is. It's now really up to MC to find out what is going on. It could be anything. So he chrono boosts his Stalker out. He's going to rally it to the Zealot, so he can try to force his way up and see if there's a command center. Of course, MKP's command center is hidden on the high ground. Not going to be something that he can easily scout. Going into 3 barracks here. This 3 barracks follow-up to 1-racks expand is basically the only build we're seeing in Korea right now, unless it's like 2-racks, which is like 1 out of 50 Terran versus Processes, or some sort of drop play.
Yeah, it's so important to have that base of the extra Marines that you can have, just to deny something like some crazy 4-gate aggression after your opponent goes for an expansion, or even if your opponent actually goes for a 4-gate, just straight off 1 base and tries to pressure you from there. You need those units out and about. You also need, bunkers at the top of the ramps, which will come to fruition probably very soon. For MKP, as he very rarely skimps on bunker, and then even putting supply depots along that natural ramp as well, just to make sure his opponent can't get too much leeway against him.
Yeah. 2 Stalkers now out for MC. We've actually seen him kill so many good players, like Flash, for example, with this type of pressure with his 2 Stalkers. If you don't make a bunker against MC, he might just kill you with this. MC sees there's nothing there, and he expects a bunker at the top of the ramp. Doesn't even poke. If he had poked, he could have killed some Marines. He would have lost some of his hit points on the Zealots, but he could have done some damage. He's just being safe, though. Goes back, adds his gates.
Yep, and I'm imagining we'll see 2 tech labs out of MKP here. Against Hero, he was using a very heavy upgrade style for the bio very early on with the stim and the combat shields at exactly the same time. A lot of Marauders actually mixed into that play as well. He's going to claim his natural for now, whilst we have MC also claiming his natural. Very nicely defensively minded as well with the sentries, just to make sure he can hold off any craziness at the very beginning, and adding on extra gateways as well as that robo. He pretty much knows what's going on with his opponent, thanks to how many Marines, well, he saw, but he can't be fully sure, so he wants to get that observer out and see what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. And you were also right about the double tech lab. That's what we're going to see from Marine King. Already start stim. We'll start combat shields probably as soon as that tech lab is done, or at least very soon afterwards, as soon as he has the resources. MC continues to scout. He sees the Marauder and the bunkers this time with his probe, so It's not very certain to MC. Oh, okay, you're just playing a normal transition, a normal follow-up to a Run Rex expand. I'm going to verify what sort of barracks play we're going to see from you with my observer. And it turns out it will be just traditional 3 barracks into medevacs with a 2 medevac push rather than more bio-heavy like you were saying that he might go for on this map.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, one of the things that I should have elaborated on that a little more, is that he will get his medevacs out and then add on the 2 eventually to also get aggressive. But you are right in the essence of going for the 2 medevac push out into the middle of the map, getting his 1 engineering bay for that +1 weapons very soon. And interestingly enough, Twilight Council going down for MC pretty rapidly here. So we could see, actually, how many gases does he have? 4. We could see DT still, but I'm under the impression it might end up being charge.
I think it's going to be charged. I think you're right. We could even see potentially one of these 2 base charge zealot timing attacks. That is so difficult to stop. We saw Squirtle do it, funnily enough, against Bomber, who then made 6 bunkers and easily held it. But if you don't know it's coming, it's very difficult to defend against this attack. Marine King moves out with a very Marauder-heavy force. This is the double barracks Marauder force that you were talking about with or double Tech Lab barracks Marauder push. And it's a really, really tough one to deal with.
And really fast blink here. I'm not a massive fan of this position right now. Normally you will see Protoss nowadays. I mean, yes, it's great to deal with drops. You can actually, just pick off anything you need to pick off with that blink play. But nowadays people just position units in the back, and without the blink, going for charge, going for zealots, it makes it really, really hard for a Terran to deal with if you get good force fields down as well. Blink doesn't do too much in a straight up fight is what I'm trying to say at this point.
Yeah. It's only good to shut down drops, really. Good force fields here, but Marine King spills into the natural a little bit here. And he's taking out Zealot after Zealot, a good stem. The force fields for MC are just not quite good enough to deny this attack, and Marine King is doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, he really is. He's killing off these Stalkers very cost-effectively. I mean, he's lost a little bit himself as well, but not too much. He now gets up. No more... Very few force fields left over here for MC, and MKP is going to fall back for now with the presence of that Immortal. He hasn't seen it just yet, of course, but it's still... I mean, he doesn't want to sacrifice all of his bio. He doesn't have any medevacs here, and now
exactly. Yeah, they just get here, and before they were there, he was in the position where his units were all low on hit points. He still has a massive lead in army supply, but they were all low on hit points. Now he still has that lead with all of his hit points regenerated. MC is in a lot of trouble. He needs to be so perfectly defensive here.
Especially with all these SCVs coming as well. MKP putting on huge amounts of aggression. He's actually, nice force fields. He's going to have to pull back a little segment of his army for now, but wow, MKP just going for full crazy on aggression. And he's gonna break up here. There's not that many force fields left over. The SCVs actually funnel through, and oh, the force fields are not perfect either. All of the bio tries to get up very quickly, focusing down one of those Immortals, will take it out. There's so much DPS here for MKP. He's forced to pull off all his probes.
Pulls off all his probes. MKP, though, losing a lot of his bio force. Can he actually continue this attack? He's got just a few Marauders left. Goes for the Immortal. A great choice here. He will take it out with all the healing power of the Medics. More and more Stalkers going down. MKP, though, lost so much economy. Right now, it's 54 probes and 36 SCVs, and MC with a hold here, with the next Immortal coming down as long as he targets appropriate with it and uses his Blink Stalker Micro, should be in a pretty decent position to go forward. He does not have robotic support bay just yet. He doesn't really have, interestingly enough, he has his armor started just now. It looks like he canceled it earlier, if I'm not mistaken, because I could have sworn he started that on his forge. But MKP has +1 armor about to finish up, so he's going to be at 1-1. He needs to make something work with his army. He needs to kill more of MC's pros, because if he just sits back and tries to catch up, then MC is going to overwhelm him.
And MKP is going for it again. He's bringing even more SCVs. That was the first engagement was really kind of scrappy and so close, but MKP still wanting to try and shut this down. There's not that many sentries left here with not that many force fields. They're the last force fields he's going to have for now, and he manages to pick up a lot of those units, moving them back behind the force fields. MKP is still a very, very scary force here, and look at that, MC warping in more sentries.
Yeah, Marine King having the better army size still, but MC having the better positioning. Marine King's army is much better upgraded. I'd like to see him drop into the main base with all these medevacs he has. He could actually lift almost every single unit into the main and then not have to worry about those forces anymore. He breaks up the ramp regardless. Sentry's taking a lot of damage here.
Wow, MKP is in such an odd position here, but he's doing the damage. He's doing the deeps. MC even is now on the ropes. He has to pull off all his probes once again. But all of these sacrifices have been in tandem with MKP's sacrifices. Obviously, he's sacrificed so many SCVs, but the DPS of the bio is going to break through. MC has very little left. He's trying to warp in some sentries desperately in his main, but I don't think it's going to be enough. GG.
GG. And that's it, man.